Okay, I think this is live now. Yep, this is going live. Hi guys. I'm seeing 0 viewers. What is going on? Yeah, I still gotta work out how YouTube streaming works. Screen sharing. Okay. Oh, I think it has a bit of delay. Well, I'll wait another 5 minutes so everybody gets in from Twitter. Then we'll get to work. Until we wait for everybody, let's talk. We can talk about the Dow Jones Index a bit. I did a chart last night. We might be expecting a new crisis, not quite like the one in 228, but still pretty severe. So don't get into any debt right now. It's not a good idea. Let's look at this chart. See, the impulse started in 29 and is finishing the fifth Elliott wave right here, and it should enter a correction, at least this minor correction here in green. Well, let me post on Twitter that the streaming is live, and then we'll start. 1 second. Okay, let's get to business. Now in cryptocurrencies. I'm gonna start with Binance first, and then I'll move between trading charts and Binance so you can see what I do on a daily basis while trading. First, let's talk about indices. This is a candle chart with nothing on it. You can see some patterns if you have a knack for it, if you have a good eye for them. But indices are what helps us determine some patterns. Now, this is Bitcoin. Let's look at Binance Coin that I've been doing on Twitter for a while and see how did I do it? How did I predict it? Well, let's start with MA. MA stands for moving averages. Okay? What is a moving average? A moving average means it's an indicator that is used for technical analysis that smooths out the noise. Okay? So we see that, let's pick a random point. Let's pick this point here. From here to here, we can trace a moving average pattern that goes between all the lines, between all the candles, and makes an average based on the time and the past, on the current time and the past candles. Okay, on the current time and the past candles. So what does MA10 means? What does the 10 mean? Well, it means it makes an average on the last 10 candles. So I get a very short prediction for the nearby future, for the nearby, I don't know, 1 hour, max 2 hours. It will probably hit that moving average at some point. See, let's take again this point here. It hits the moving average 10, moved by about 4 hours. On the 4th hour, it tried to hit it again here. It failed and moved back, and it hit it again here, moved upwards and hit it again. basically at about, I don't know, if you want, you can see some, if you really, uh, let me get my thoughts on this. If you have an eye for it, you can see some patterns that are happening here, you know? Let's move to trading view for a more accurate description on that. Okay, let's move to Binance Coin. Binance Coin, Binance Coin. Where is Binance Coin? God damn it. BNB USD. Okay. This is really messy. Let's get rid of all. Hide all drawing tools. Okay. So I think this was the candle that I was referring about. Yeah, that was it, I think. Well, as I said, moving average of 10 will probably hit some of the candles, you know, but you can also see a pattern that is happening between the candles. Fucking hell. Look, I don't know. This looks almost like a sin wave, you know, almost like a sin wave. Sorry for all the mess. Those are my personal charts, and they are very, very messy before I post them, you know. That okay, do you have any questions, guys, so far? I don't know where to see the comments. Is there any? Are there any comments? 1 minute. Okay, I'm not seeing. I have to find out how can I see the comments actually, because Google Hangouts is not helping me here. Chat doesn't work. YouTube. One minute. I'm sorry, guys. YouTube is really new for me, so I have to get used to it. It will be a while. Really sorry about that. Oh, hell. Well, I see no useful comments, so let's move on. Okay, what I do for trading right now. I'm looking. Let's look at the current BNB chart to get a live feeling for a trade right now. See, I'm on the 1 hour candle with MA 10, 25, and 100. Those are usually the most commonly used moving averages. If you go on Binance, let's go on Binance and check that out. Let's go on Binance and check that out. If you go on Binance right now, you will see that by default, they have those MA lines put here. This is the MA10. The yellow one is the MA10. This Oh, I made it MA7, sorry. Usually it is MA10, but this is my personal Binance feed, so it's MA7. Because I trade really fast, I want to see the next move quite fast and not. I want basically I want to make an average on the last 7 charts because they will show me where it will move faster than a MA10. Just a bit faster. I'm talking about minutes here, literally minutes. Okay, and okay, let's start again. The MA10 will show you the current 10 candles, the current average of the last 10 candles. The moving average 25 will show you the moving average of the last 25 candles. So about, I don't know, this area right here. So this area is about MA10. This is MA10. This until here is about MA25, and MA100 is way, 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 way down here, I believe, somewhere around here. With MA, you can see clearly the resistance and support levels of those candles, See, on the MA1, this was the current support, the MA25. Let's go back on the desktop app because the mobile, the Chrome app moves just horribly. Okay. I really want to know how can I view those comments on Google Hangouts, but oh. So looking at Binance Coin right now, I have MA10, MA25, MA100. See how for the last, I don't know, 2 days, I think, each candle is 1 hour here. Each candle is 1 hour. So if we count till about here, where the pump started, this is where the pump is starting, at about $10. At about $10, the pump has started. And if you see, for a while, it didn't break the MA10 line. It did not break it. But if we try to get another MA, not 10, let's put in 5 maybe. Okay, 5 was too little. Let's put 7. 7. So if you see the moving average of the last 7 candles for this time period is almost almost every time it touches the moving average 7. So if I were to trade, I would buy here. I would wait until the price moves away from the moving average, and then I would sell. Again, buy where the price hits the moving average, sell when it goes above it. Buy here, sell here. Buy here, sell here. Buy, sell. Buy, sell. If it breaks here the moving average, it doesn't bounce back. If it doesn't bounce back from this, that means my current trend is ending. My current trend has ended. It's time to get my stop losses and wait for another trend to begin. But I will lose some money here. True, I will lose some money, but I've made a lot of money on this trend line. On this trend line, I've made at least 3 trades. I could have made at least 3 trades with a good profit. So much, let's say 3 to 5% here. So much that I can afford to lose about 1% on this break here with a good stop loss in place. Okay, let's begin now. Let's put MA10 again. I want to use mostly MA10 because this is what almost everybody uses, especially in the crypto market, because the crypto is full of new people that are not sure what to use. They will press MA randomly here. They see some stuff here and they will press it, and they say, hey, I see some lines that that tend to have a trend. I see a trend here. Maybe I can use those lines, maybe I can use those lines and this would help me. But and they would think correctly. They would think correctly. But those lines, they are only useful if you know what they mean and what you can do with them. It's not useful if, I don't know, you go on 5 minutes chart or 1 minute chart, which looks utterly horrible right now. What the 1 minute chart is utterly horrible. If I go on the 1 minute chart as a newbie and I say I buy right here, it looks really low. Surely it will go up from here, because I don't know. This is how the lines look like. They will go up. They seem to go up here. But if you look closely, the MA 100, which is, I don't know, about 4 hours, it will show the moving average of the last 4 hours on the 1 minute chart. It cannot break it. The candles cannot break the moving average 100. The average price of BNB for the last 4 hours is still downtrending. Until it breaks away from this, maybe we can see a breakdown, a break. I'm sorry, a breakout from the current descending trade. It looks like it would end. It made one, it made one correction here, bounced up, tried to pass, didn't go. It made another long correction, bounced up, almost broke here, but did not quite broke it. So it went down again and is waiting for another chance to pass it and move upwards. See, what we can do here is move back in time. The further I go up the candles, so say let's go 1 day, let's go to the extreme. The further I go up the candles, the more I can see the trend farther in time. So if I make a trend line here, where is the trend line? Trend line. This is why I hate the Binance app. It's awful when it comes to tools, but it's very good when it comes to lag. Almost no lag on any trades. I'm gonna try to look at the comments, but it's really a pain. I don't know how I can do this without actually entering the stream and watching it on a separate window. Okay. God damn it. Well, at least there are comments. Okay, back to it. See, okay, let's go. Let's try to find that trend line on Binance. Please segment. I wonder. Yeah, this is it. Let's draw it for the last, I don't know, week. Let's think we are 1 week back and we are looking at the chart, I don't know, almost like this. Now, if we draw lines, you will see some support and some resistance. How do I draw those trend lines? Well, I begin by the highest point I can see. This is where I fix one part of the trend line. And then I look at another point that crosses the trend line somewhere, and I try to put that trend line there. I swear Binance is a is a fucking pain when it comes to drawing lines. God damn it. See, I began at the high point, and then it hits here again. And this is the long time resistance. So if it breaks here, it might go even upper, you know. And what a surprise! You see that this MA 100 here, this MA 100 is also showing me the current support, the current resistance. I'm sorry, the current resistance, the major resistance for the last 3 months. No, for the last 3 months, maybe even bigger than 3 months. So if we go now further in time, you see it tried to break this resistance here on March 22. It tried to break this resistance. It managed here on March 23 to hit resistance. And usually when it hits resistance, let's look at volume now. When it hits resistance with crescending volume, with much bigger volume than previous candles, that means that is a bullish sign. The bulls want to take control and move the price upwards. Oh, fucking damn it. I swear. I swear chat is cancer right now. Oh. And as I said, once it broke out with a lot of volume, it went up again. It went up again. And it made a wick. A wick, if this is a candle, you know, if this is a candle, a shorter line coming from the candle, it's the wick. So pretty straightforward right there, wouldn't you say? And a wick this big means it encountered resistance. A big wick means resistance. See right here, a big wick, it meant it hit this resistance and pulled back. Wick, another wick, it hit resistance and pulled back. And if we're talking about wicks, look down here. This is the support line for the last several months. Again, it tried to break support line and it was pushed back, creating a wick. It was pushed back again here, creating a wick. Okay, moving on. The next day, it hit resistance. What does it do next? Usually when it hits resistance, it will try to pull down a bit before going upwards. See, it pulled down a bit before going upwards again, before trying to pull upwards again, but it was rejected again. Now it might try again to hit it. If not, it will hit this current support, this current MA 100 support to be precise. Oh, and this is today. Yeah. It may try to hit again, but see how those wicks are descending. See how those wicks are descending. So if I draw another trend line here, and I can draw more than this, you will see that the next major resistance might be at about 13 something, 1370 70-ish, 70-ish. Now this is a very long time projection, It's each candle is a day. This is now not how you can day trade. This is a pain to day trade. So for day trading, I go usually the maximum I do for day trading is 4 hours. So let's go to 4 hours and see what MA looks like. The MA10 on 10 hours, this pump seemed to be riding above the MA10 on the 4-hour chart. It broke here. It broke here, and we might expect to hit this support at 1140. This is a long time projection, so it might bounce back from here again. It might go down. If we're gonna find out what it's gonna do in the next, I don't know, 3 to 5 hours, let's go on the 1-hour chart. And on the 1-hour chart, as I said before, it tried to move. No, it didn't try. It moved actually above the MA25 line. Above the MA25 line, it hit it here. So this was the first Elliott wave, the first impulse of this pump. It had a nice correction. About usually the corrections are based on Fibonacci retracements, but this is too much to say for now. Let's stay on moving averages. So it it made the first impulse, had a slight correction, met the moving average almost, if you can say perfectly, almost perfectly. It just touched it a bit, just a bit of a pierce, and then it pulled back. It pulled back up. So it pulled back up right here. Again, it stayed above the MA10. It rode the MA10, maybe MA7 again. Let's see. Let's put MA7. Yeah. So this pump really liked MA7. Some pumps may like MA15 or MA5 or MA8, 6. Play with it. Play with it and you will see a trend. Play with it and you will see a trend. So as I said, as on this trend, if I made some trades on this trend, I also could have made some trades on this downtrend because after 3 candles, you can notice that the price bounces, the price stays below the moving average 7, stays below it, but always tries to push it, always tries to push it. So if the previous 3 candles are a good sign and a good indicator, I would buy. I would place an order here and wait for it to hit the MA7 again. Place an order here, around here maybe, and wait for it to bounce to MA7. Some of those orders may not go true. Some of them may not go true, but I'm basically fishing for a good price. If that good price doesn't hit, then I don't trade. I don't go with the flow once it's beginning to push back up, because I might get really, really burned. If that good price didn't come, then it's bye bye. Next candle, you know. And on this next candle, based on those 3 candles here, I could have made a good profit if I placed an order here and sold right above here, about, I don't know, 2% profit, about 2%, but it's still a good profit for an hour's trading, you know. So to recap, it followed the MA7 on this trend, always touched it. Once it broke the MA7, I expected to hit the next moving average, the next widely used moving average, and that is the MA25. And it really hit it right here, then bounced up and rode the MA7 again. And on this MA7, usually on the second impulse, you will see uh, bigger and more meaner impulses that go upwards. They will try to find a resistance and push through it. Here, it didn't find any resistance here. So if you were to trade for, I don't know, the next few hours. No wick, almost no wick created here. It meant it didn't find any resistance. So it will surely move up again if it stays above the MA7. Only if it stays above the MA7. If it breaks it, it will hit the next MA. Remember that. It's not it's not always a rule, but it's usually how it happens. So, as I said, it 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 tried to find the resistance here. It was rejected. It created a wick. It found the MA7 again, pushed back, found the resistance, found the MA7 again, and this was a really crazy hour right here, because in this hour it found the MA7 and almost found the highest resistance. So it went from $13.60 to almost 15 in 1 hour. That's about, I don't know, 12% profit. It's it's insane. So if you would have placed an order just, I don't know, just above the MA7, you might have you might have had a very hefty profit on just 1 hour. Just above MA7, it might have meant here, but it didn't hit here. But it hit with the next candle, it hit it here and pushed back again. But it also pushed down, so it was a very risky candle here. If my order didn't went on this red candle, then I would have let it go if I played on the long term 1 hour maybe. So let's return to MA10. Let's return to MA10. Looking back in time, you can see that it rode the MA25, as I previously stated about 3 times, I know. And once it broke the MA25, it went down again. But why did it went down here, you may ask? Why did it went to 1260, 1250-ish? It's no MA there, you might say. There's no moving average there that made it, that made meets it. God damn it. That meets it. True, there's no moving average there that meets it, but there will surely be some on some time frame of the candles. So let's move to 2 hours. Let's move to 2 hours. And there it is. There is the next support from which it might bounce back. This free fall, this what might have looked like a free fall area right here, is actually a support on the long term, on the 12-hour candles. And all I had to do was just shift through the candle frame, just shift through the candle frames, and I saw that support. And I'm not gonna trade today because I've made my profits for 3 days yesterday, so I want to take a day off from this and, I don't know, drink a bit. But if I were now to buy BNB, the current price would be good with a stop loss at about, I don't know, about 1235. It's still risky. It's still risky because Bitcoin, let's look at this lovely motherfucker. Because Bitcoin is really a teenager on drugs right here. It's it's very incoherent. You don't know where it will go. It stays in between MA100 and MA25, and actually that's not really MA25. It's more, I don't know, MA20, I think. Not even 20. 15. Oh, I have to move it up. MA 40. Yeah, it stays between MA 100, and I think that's not actually MA 100. It's MA 2020 usually on Bitcoin. No. And this is what I do, guys. This is what I do. I move around the MA values, which means how many candles do you look back to create that average, and they usually show me a support or a resistance. Oh, goddamn. It's about 100 something support, and surely MA 40 resistance. See how it's tried to hit it here. It didn't quite hit it. It tried to hit it again, didn't quite manage, and pulled back. And it will probably hit it again in the next few hours. If not, if it breaks through this support line, then it's way back up to, let's see, not even on 4 hours, 12 hours, no, 30 hours, 15 minutes, no, 1 day. Well, this is really a major support right here for Bitcoin. If it fails this one, it might hit the previous low of about 79,100, 7,900. Because if you look at sometimes, okay, so sometimes when you don't have enough data, you cannot see the support lines or the resistance lines with the MA, especially if it goes way lower than anybody expects, like it did here and here, you know? Not really anybody, but if it goes lower than the MA, maybe 1 month, but that now I don't even have data one month. But look right here on 1 week chart. You can clearly see the bearish resistance starting from December. Yeah, this is nice. This is really nice. I haven't noticed this before. This is the resistance starting from December actually. You see how it stayed above the MA10 in all the way through the, I don't know, fourth quarter of 2017. Then it broke to the MA10 and is still trying to pierce it, And I'm sorry guys, but looking at this chart, I expect another correction to be coming to hit it again here, and another correction to be coming at about this level before we might see another bull run like this in December. So, okay, let's go back to BNB because I really like this coin. So as I said, it met, I have 10, 25, and 100. It met the 25 moving average line here, and it will surely have a resistance on the moving average 10, maybe 7. If the last trends hold true, then the MA7 may be the next resistance for this. Okay. Another thing I like to look at. I think I'm not gonna go into that. I think I'm gonna stay just on moving averages on this live stream because there is more to talk about. So let's see. Usually, usually when a big moving average is broken, like the MA100 here, usually when it's broken, the asset, the price will, if it has enough buyers, like look at this volume chart here. A lot of buyers went in at this point in time. Basically, the bigger the candles, the more volume, the more people, or the more cash is put into that asset. And this volume right here created an impulse that that made it stable. Okay, it made it stable. Yeah. Okay, if you have any questions, please leave in the chat because I can see it here and I can see all the cancer that is going on. And yeah, I'm still waiting for a decent question, maybe, or I don't know. If you didn't understand something that I said, well, I guess not. So let's continue. So as I was saying, if the price breaks a major moving average, it will try to find it again at some point. Usually on the crypto market, this is almost a rule. So for all of you who ask when it's a good time to buy, is it a good time to sell? Is it a good time to buy? Well, usually a very good time to buy is when the price is below a major support line. A major support line. Like like when it went down here, it went down here. When it went here again, let's see, here again, if you would have bought, you would have caught, wow, this pump right here, also here again. But the the problem is how the problem is you have to time it correctly when it's here, when it's below a major moving average, because you could have bought here, you could have bought here, and you would have said, yeah, well, it will surely meet this moving average again, right, at some point. But it went down again. It went down again because it never hit the moving average 25. It never hit it, just here. But if you'd have bought here, then it didn't hit the MA25. If if you'd have bought here, it tried to almost pierce MA100 but didn't quite. So let's take the scenario that I have bought here. The price moved up. I would have said, yeah, it will surely hit the MA100 at some point, but it went down. It went down again. It went up. It went down. It went up and down and up and down. If you see a pattern here, the pattern is that while moving down, it never pierced again the MA25 decides this point right here, this point here. And that is a bad sign because it meant it's in a descending trend, and it's hard to break out of it. It hits the MA10 continuously, it hits it, but it never manages to break MA25 until this point. And at this point, we can think that it will probably stabilize. I can't really pronounce stabilization. It sounds so Russian coming from me. So once it pierces MA25, it will mostly mean that the downtrend has ended. Some buyers are coming in. See, buyers, a lot of green volume coming in. That means buyers. Red here means sellers. A hell of a lot of sellers at this candle, and then buyers coming in and sellers doing it again with two big candles, bigger than the sellers. So when you notice that the sellers are having less and less volume and the buyers are making more and more volume, that means that buyers are coming in, that people are starting to have trust in that asset, and it may go up because of it. That is a good early sign. Once selling volume is starting to stop, then and buyer volume is starting to rise, that is a good sign. So let's look forward, and forward we can see more green buyer volume candles. So a lot of buyers coming here. Probably in this area it went two two times more buyers went in this area than in this area, because in this area they are more certain that the asset will go up than in this area. This is still unclear. This might still correct, but this, it stayed above the MA25. It stayed above. It didn't fluctuate like in this one. It didn't go down then hit it again. No, it stayed above, and staying above is a good sign. Now here we can see some panic because it broke the MA25, but it didn't bounce back too much from it. It's still stuck in it. It's still stuck in the MA25. So that's a good sign. That means it tries to push through it. It tries to push to it. It's not still rejected by it, and it pushed right here to it, staying on it, and wow, whoa! I think this was the Binance Chain announcement. Yeah, this surely was the Binance Chain announcement. This I thought was an anomaly at some point, but those guys from Binance were really, really smart, because by creating the announcement in this critical area right here where people were uncertain what might happen. So if we look a bit back, we weren't certain what might happen. It could have gone up, or it could have tested this MA100 and bounced back up with major losses. So what they did was make an announcement that they will go decentralized, and then pushed the price in a very bullish direction. Also, this right here is the start of our most recent BNB pump. And this is why the BNB pump was so massive, because it had a good major impulse right here, a good major impulse. And as you can see, this big red volume candle, most of the buyers that went in this, probably all this area, most of them sold right here for profit. This, I think, this is why this is bigger than this one, even though it's a pump. So basically, MA lines will show me that the asset is mostly overbought or kind of oversold, but we have another index for that which is way better than moving averages. But as a tool, moving averages are a good time to buy when the asset hits one of the major moving averages. One of the major moving averages. That major, by major I mean 50 or maybe 100. See, like here, it hit the 100 and it bounced back up. Profit here or here or here would have been good if you weren't greedy. And maybe even another buy here and sell here. I really have no idea what I can do next, what to show you. So besides the spam, if you want to know something or if you have any questions, now it's a good time to buy it to tell them so. By the way, as I was saying with BNB, see it's trying to touch this MA right now, this MA10. It got rejected. Probably the next candle will be a red one with another touchdown on MA25, and the next one would be would hit the MA10 again, and it will wiggle around those MA lines for a while before deciding to make another major move. So yeah, that concludes it for today. I